Welcome to Tea Time, guys, where we have special guests to chop it up about basketball, life, whatever comes to our mind. Usually it's about basketball, favorite teams, favorite players, prospects, all of the above. Tonight we have a guest, Eric Brandt, lovely guest. I'm glad he came in. It was a lot of back and forth to try to get us to link up, but hope you guys enjoy this episode. It was a fun one. First question is, where do you think the Blazers are going to finish in the Western Conference this upcoming season?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, right? It's tough because there's so many good teams in the West. So like even if you have them outside of the play-in, it feels like you're knocking them like they're a bad team. But I just feel like there's so many good teams that it could be the case that they're there just. They had a good season, just didn't quite have enough.
Yeah.
I do feel like they're definitely better than the Utah Jazz. I think they're better than the New Orleans Pelicans. I think they're better than the Sacramento Kings. And you could probably throw the Suns in there as well, maybe. Yeah. So that's 4 teams, I think, if they finish lower than any of those teams outside of, injuries or whatever.
Yeah, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, so that puts them at 11th, right, by default, if they perform better than those teams, which I don't think is saying anything crazy. Yeah. So I would predict them to finish there, but as we know, like every year something happens to one team. The Clippers, I feel like, had a really good offseason, but they have this Kawhi stuff hanging over them now, ownership situation, where there might be some punishments handed down to them. I don't know how that'll affect this season. The Spurs obviously had Wemby with the blood clot situation last year. If he's not fully healthy, I don't think they're better than us without Wemby. Now, if they have Wemby for the whole season, that's a different story. Mm-hmm. But just kind of thinking about it, if you eliminate just one team, just say they're going to have horrible luck or horrible injuries or something like that, I believe the Blazers can do better than one other team in the West, and that gets them at 10th in the play-in. So I'll say 10th. They sneak into the play-in, get that game. Obviously, that wouldn't be a home game, and you'd have to win 2 road games to make the playoffs. But I think that is the next step up in their progression. Hopefully it's much better than that as a Blazer fan, but I'm going to predict 10th right now.
Yeah, I probably agree with you. Obviously, those 4 teams, I definitely think they're better than the Mavericks. I feel like it's close, very close with them as a team. Yeah, I would just like sneak in there, but like you said, it's pretty tough because within probably the last 10 games, it was very, very tight in the West. It was 1 or 2 games. That was the difference between 3 and 8, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And obviously we have high expectations for the team, but I think it can definitely get blown overboard because of the additions we have. And then just like the expectation that our defense is just going to be so great that nobody can deal with us. And I feel like it's going to be like a Orlando Magic type situation where the defense was so great, but then the offense is not anywhere where you want it to be. And obviously we don't have a player like Paolo or Franz like solidified yet. Like we still have people that we want to get to that point where they can carry an offense. So it's not entirely a 1-to-1 comparison, but I feel like I believe the defense is going to be great, but the defense was never really an issue per se. Like it was.
Well, it had been in years past. Last year it was.
Yeah. But the offense is like the biggest question because we don't know who's going to start. We don't know who's going to be off the bench. And then when Dame comes back, we don't know what he's going to bring. Well, we know what he's going to bring, but we don't know how that's going to look after this year because we got to see how these players perform. We got to see if Scoot's going to develop. We got to see if Shea's going to develop. Tumani, Klingon, Chris Murray, Blake Wesley. We got to see how all those guys develop. And then the hope is to surround those great players with Dame moving forward. But yeah, I say 10th is the spot. anything above that is a good thing. Play-in is a good thing to me. Play-in is probably like best case scenario. If we just miss out on the play-in, I don't think that's a bad thing to me. It's more about development, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if we get one of the play-ins that's not 10th, because then you're guaranteed at least one home game. I know for viewers like you who aren't in Portland, that doesn't matter as much, but it would be cool to have like one playoff type atmosphere game here in Portland, at least guaranteed.
I mean, for me, I feel like it kind of sucks because I'm all the way over here, and the only time I can watch the Blazers if they play the Wizards.
Right.
And I'm like, I could go to any Wizards game I want to. I'm like, damn, I should have just been living in Portland.
Yeah. Do you get lead pass and stuff, or how do you do it?
You said what?
Do you get league pass, or what do you do?
Oh, so I have league pass, and then obviously I have connections with the Wizards. So I feel like it's a little bit harder now since one of my closest friends doesn't work for them anymore. Mm-hmm. But I still get, I still have my ways
some perks,
of getting into the arena. So if it's league pass or just going to a game, either or works for me.
I will say too, in terms of expectations and where we think they'll finish, this is the 1 year going in where I'm confident that the team will actually try to make the playoffs too. The last few years, I feel like they've gone into it with the mindset that they're going to pull the plug at some point, or they're going to tank for a higher draft pick, or in the case of we still owe the Chicago Bulls a protected first round pick until 2028. As long as we don't make the playoffs, we keep that pick. So in the past few years, it's been like, oh, well, we need another draft pick to add to this core. So like, we don't really want to make the playoffs and give up our draft pick and not have any draft capital. So I feel like that has been the case. But then this offseason, they add a 2028 first from Orlando by moving down 5 spots in the draft. And then they, all the talk from the team is that they're
trying to go all in, and everybody's going to be playing till that last game of the season, most likely.
Right. And if that wasn't the case, if it was like the last couple of years where it still felt like they were tanking, I would probably pick them to finish 11th or 12th, just because I would feel like they would prevent that from happening at some point. But I feel confident that this year, they with Cronin and Billups both getting an extension, new ownership taking place by the end of the season.
I forgot about that one.
All that kind of stuff. I feel like this is the type of year they're going to do everything they can to make the playoffs. And now whether that's good long-term or not remains to be seen. But I do feel like this is going to be the first year out of the last handful that they're actually going to try to make the playoffs going in.
Yeah. It's honestly been it's been weird for me because I usually support teams that have just been recently, or just in general. Because all my teams are scattered all over the place. So
what are your other teams?
So my favorite baseball team is the White Sox.
Okay,
my favorite football team are the Tennessee Titans.
All right.
I can explain the Titans one more than the White Sox. The Titans one is because I'm an Oregon fan. Because in high school I used to like their jerseys a whole bunch. I wanted to go to school out there. Love their football team, and Marcus Mariota was my favorite quarterback at the time.
Oh, okay.
So when he got drafted, I was just like, I'm gonna follow him. And then
nice.
Derrick Henry got drafted too, and then I just
that in common with a lot of people out here.
So, but then the Titans just suck now, and I don't even pay attention to football that much anymore. And I think that's the main sports. And then
so wait, you're from the DMV or whatever?
Yes.
Right? But you don't like any teams?
I was going to like the Nationals, but I felt like at the time I feel like it was a cop-out because they just won the World Series years before I worked there. So I was like, I feel like that's kind of cheating. I didn't really feel the championship myself. I was and I watched, I think, the last pitch of that series, and I was just like, oh, we won. I turned the TV off. At the time, I didn't care. I was like, oh, when I definitely got into baseball, I was like, oh, dang, maybe I should have just been a Nationals fan. I was only a White Sox fan because I saw a whole bunch of think this was 2021, 2022. A whole bunch of Tim Anderson propaganda on my timeline. So it was just, I think it was him hitting a home run against the Yankees or something. I was just like, you know what? I guess I'll just like this team. And
not him getting knocked cold.
Yeah, it's been rough, man.
Was that tough when didn't you get knocked out cold?
Yes. Yeah, and I was just maybe I should stop.
Man, so yeah, White Sox Titans were the worst team in the NFL last year. White Sox were the worst team in MLB.
Yeah, it's a rough go for me. At least the Blazers weren't the worst team.
Barely, but yeah,
one of the worst teams.
That's crazy, man.
That's been interesting, but I'm thinking, when I think about this team, man, I'm trying to like come up with lineups that I think Chauncey would go with, or lineups I would want to go with, and I feel like I've had a lot of trouble with what would be the best direction to go in, because obviously we got Scoot into year 3, Shaden into year 4, Tumani's just coming up into the defender he is, and then you have Jeremy Grant, who's still making a lot of money, but I feel like most fans don't want him in the starting lineup. After, I guess, the way he played last year, now if he goes back to how he played when Dame was playing, or even before that, or even after that, there might be some, leniency there for me, but I'm just like, there's so many options, and I feel like there's a lot of experimentation coming our way that we probably don't know of.
Yeah, you got the young guys, Klingon, Sharp, and Scoot, I think are going to get their fair share of playing time. Mm-hmm. I think Klingon is clearly the starter at center.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe Rob will get a chance if he's completely healthy, but I just see him at this point of his career, when he can't stay healthy, as more of a bench presence. And we saw how much Klingon affected the defense when he was inserted into a bigger role last season. And so I think he is kind of the key to making everything work out. And I'm with you. Like, it's kind of, that's going to be one of the most fascinating things about like media day and training camp and preseason this year, is just seeing who's starting, like what lineups Chauncey's running out there. If I had to guess, I think he'll lean on Grant and Holiday a little more than he probably should, just because he seems like the type of coach that trusts veterans a little more, especially someone like Drew, who has won a couple championships and has the pedigree to be trusted in.
Yeah.
But it kind of comes down to me on how well Scoot looks in training camp and preseason, because if he's looking awesome, and I don't know how you can just bench him or like keep him coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see. But as of right now, my best guess is that'll be Drew and Sharp starting in the backcourt, with Scoot coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. And I want to have faith that they'll do the right thing and start Tamani and Denny as the forwards and have Grant come off the bench. And I think, Scoot, Grant, Rob Will is the start of a very good core off the bench as well. You throwing Thibault in there for defensive purposes and things like that.
Yeah.
I do think they have some lineups they can really make, but I think they're going to lean towards Denny, Tamani, Sharp, Drew, and Klingon being the starting lineup to start the year.
Yeah. I would agree too, because I feel like the biggest thing to me is the offensive creation. And I know we were sending messages in the group chat, and I don't really watch Zach Lowe like that, but I feel like I should, because I liked his attention to how our offense kind of just, we have one play, and if that doesn't work, it's kind of like, okay, what do we do now? Let's just make something work. And I think we need a lot of experimentation offensively, with different lineups, different sets, different guys having the ball in their hand and initiating things. And not really like obviously Chauncey's a defensive coach, but I think we need to buy more into the offensive side of things. So at least when we're not in transition where we can get easy buckets, we need to have something working for us in the half court where things are a lot harder for us. Especially since we don't have like a go-to guy that's known to get their bucket now, because it's kind of an open floor for everybody. Except for Denny. Denny's kind of I'd say Jeremy Grant's included in that. Those are the people that, most likely guaranteed to get their own bucket. But yeah, I think it's a lot of experimentation that's going to go on. I feel like that's what people don't realize going into the season. It's like, oh yeah, we best defense. Like we're going to lock up. We're going to make the playoffs, but you can't do anything in the playoffs or get to the playoffs if you can't score efficiently or effectively. Because it's gonna get hard for us real quick if we don't figure some things out on that end.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things Chauncey addressed that he needed to do a better job of with his exit interview last year, is that he needed to improve the way our offense operates. And if they come out and run the same offense and they're not getting good shots and their shooting percentages are bad, that Zach Lowe piece that you mentioned how bad their efficiency was. It wasn't necessarily that they weren't getting to the rim or weren't getting good shots. They just weren't making them consistent enough. So if it still looks that inefficient and we're hovering around one of the worst offenses in the league, I think you then have to start to question if Chauncey's capable of leading an offense or figuring it out. Now, something that would help immensely is having Dame around, because we saw for years. It might not be the same when he comes back from an Achilles, but we saw for years how much like he could lead a group of. It didn't really matter what you put around him. We're going to have a top 10 offense with him in the mix. So it's kind of unfortunate that he's out this season, but then again, that's the only reason why he was able to come back here to Portland. So, but with him, I think you kind of solve a lot of those offensive
and I feel like it's such a cop out, even though it's like, if it works, it works. If you come back and then he just, not take all the whole load, but, fill in where I know he will, then and the offense is good. You don't have any questions. But I feel like we should learn to put everything back on him like we used to.
Right. The better they perform without him, whether that be this whole season, which I guess right now would be the most likely outcome, is that he doesn't play this season. But if they could have like just an average offense, like a 15-ish, if we're sitting there towards the end of the season thinking, okay, they're locked down on defense, they improved their offense, Chauncey's schemes got better, there's more movement off ball, they're cutting better, they're making more shots. If we're talking about that and then adding Dame and whatever other moves they make in the offseason, that to me, that's when you get really excited about the potential of this team. Now, if this offense doesn't improve at all and Chauncey's unable to figure out any ways to make it easier on these guys, then I think you have to seriously consider the new ownership coming in and maybe making a move there at coach and bringing in someone who can figure it out. But I guess they have another year with another excuse of not having Dame this year. In the past, it's been injuries as well. That they've had the excuse, well, what are we supposed to do? We have people injured and stuff like that. So I don't think when you say you're going to make the playoffs or whatever and you bring your core back outside of Anthony, you can't really make those excuses anymore in my mind. So I'm fascinated to see how Chauncey improves the offense, and that better be what he focused the most on this offseason.
I really wonder how he's going to do it, because I feel like it's been too long of him doing the same thing and him promising things that I have not seen yet. But I'm gonna trust him because what am I going to do? I can't.
Right.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing I could do but criticize him until he hear my voice. Yeah, that's hopefully we make some strides in that on that front. I'm trying to also think how much do you think the Drew Holiday and Dame addition will help Scoot and Shaden?
I think one, it helps take the pressure off of at least with this year with Drew. Mentoring aside, I mean it should be good to like watch a player of Drew's caliber, how he practices, how he looks at the game, how he, warms up for a game, how he deciphers how he's going to guard the opposition, things like that. You can pick up on those things. But aside from that, having Drew in the backcourt with those two takes a little bit of the pressure off of both of them in my mind, because if Drew wasn't here and we're just talking about, okay, we're starting the future, Scoot and Sharp in the backcourt, that's a lot of pressure on those two to play capable defense. And also, we just talked about improving on offense team-wise. So those guys would be responsible for that bulk of improving the offense, both Sharp as a creator and Scoot as setting everyone up for that, and running the offense. And then if you add on top of that, you guys need to be at Denny and Tumani's level defensively too.
Yeah.
And there can't be any drop off like we've seen with like Dame and Anthony and CJ over the years, where if you have a huge offensive load, it's really hard to then be a lockdown defender or give 100% effort on defense all the time.
Yeah.
So I think just having Drew there makes it so, they don't have the pressure of both having to do it. So as long as we get kind of
one incremental
improvement out of both of them, or one or the other, to be really good in that area. We did see Scoot improve quite a bit on defense last year. So hopefully that continues. And then Sharp got benched, during last year, came back and tried to show some effort. It still wasn't great, like defensive wise, but the effort did get a little better. So yeah, it just takes a little bit of pressure, I think, off of both of them, because you have that lockdown defender, and then you have the forwards to also guard, and then you also have Klingon back there protecting the rim. Yeah. So when you combine all those things, I think it does take the pressure off of them defensively. Not to say they shouldn't still improve and hopefully become good defenders, but I do think like that starting lineup I talked about earlier, if you have that, I don't think you need Sharp to necessarily be an above average defender. I think you can get away with it if he's contributing a lot on the offensive end.
And I think I agree with that too, because I feel like it covers all the bases you need. You got a point of attack defender. You got a defender that's able to play in the lanes and just watching everything. And then you got somebody that's just making sure nobody gets to the rim. I think it's enough in that sense where, like you said, Shaden can, be a, serviceable defender, but not, really do too much on that end. And then he can, I guess, put his focus more into what he can provide on the offensive end, because like with the offense, creation is a big thing. And then also our 3-point shooting, because obviously Tumani improved greatly. Denny improved greatly too, whether it was catch and shoot or just creating his own shot. But now that we don't have the guy that is like, oh yeah, we need a three, we're going to you. And I think with updated scouting reports, people are going to, give Tumani a little bit more attention. We're going to see what that does to them in this season, because Shaden shot a lot of threes, didn't really make too many. Tumani shot a lot of threes, made enough, but they weren't thinking of him as a threat too much, and now he's probably going to be perceived as a threat. So we're going to see how he's going to act with that improved, that more attention on him. And then Denny's just feel like he's just going to keep doing his thing anyway. I don't think anybody's just slacking on him anyway. So Yeah, it's just it's a lot of it's just all offense to me. Just I just really wonder because it's just so many scenarios that can go on and there's so many scenarios that go on in my head that I just don't know what direction it will go in, especially with Chauncey schemes on offense.
Well, with Denny in particular, I was curious to see if he would hit the ground running this season like he finished last season, just dominating games. And obviously he shot really well for a good stretch of the end of the season. And I don't expect it to be that good percentage-wise, shooting split-wise. But he really showed a lot of the same things he had been doing here in Portland in Eurobasket. And so you watch him at the end of his last little bit with the Wizards improve, and he comes here, struggles a little bit, but then gets it together, has a really strong end of the season, and then has a really good Eurobasket. I feel like he's should be at the point where he's arrived and doesn't have to go through that stretch that he did anymore. So just having him coming in ready to go because he's been playing all summer and things like that, I think is going to be beneficial. But the key to me, and I feel like this is the one thing they did not address this offseason, and that's the shooting problems. They've been one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league the last couple of years, and I don't think they added enough shooting. So the only way they can get better, I think, in that department is internally. And now maybe you get Drew going back to 2 seasons ago where he shot over 40%. Maybe you get Jeremy going back to his first 2 seasons at Portland where he also shot over 40% both of those seasons. Maybe you get some of those guys going back to their normal stage. But short of that, I mean, you really need Sharp in particular, who has not shot the 3-ball well, but that would really open up his game. Scoot actually showed a lot of improvement shooting the 3 last year. If that's legit, that helps a lot also. But a lot of these guys, other teams are going to pack the paint and force us to shoot, I think, at the beginning of the season and just make us prove that we can shoot the ball. And I don't know if we have anyone that can consistently make them pay for that on the roster until Dame gets hurt, or healthy, obviously. But short of Dame coming in and saving that shooting, I really think multiple people have to step up, or it's going to be a long season of we can't get to the rim because defenses are just sagging off. They're going under screens, all that kind of stuff. If we don't have anyone that can consistently hit that shot, it's going to be a long season on offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that's the most annoying thing, but I guess that might be just trust internally with all the players. They know they got the players they want, the guys that on the squad, they're going to keep improving. And if they trust them, I guess I just got to – I mean, not that I don't trust them, but obviously you want somebody there that's, known to be able to hit those shots. And obviously we did get one, but we have to wait till he's able to get back on the court again. But
what were your thoughts on Dame coming back, by the way?
So I remember the day he left because I'm just up. Oh no, actually I'm not up. I'm not up that early. But I just was sleeping on my friend's floor because we were all staying at her house because someone in her family had passed. So we were just all like staying with her, making sure she was okay. And it was just one of those days where I think we were taking turns sleeping over. And I woke up, I looked at my phone, and my phone was just blown up by all my friends because they all make fun of me for liking Dame and liking the Trailblazers. So when they were like, "Oh, Dame's not loyal to the soil. He went back on his word. He's gone." Yeah. I'm like, "Dang, he actually really left." Or he wanted a trade. I was like, "Dang." Yeah. And then when he got traded to the Bucks, I was like, "Okay, cool." But when he came back, I was like, "No way!" I'm like, "There's no way I'm seeing this right now. There's no way I'm seeing." I feel like it was just like. I felt like a dream because I was like, once he was gone, he's gone. He's going to do whatever. He's going to be in Milwaukee. And But when I saw he came back, I was like, dang, this is crazy. And then when people were saying, "Oh, it took Dame to get the squad he wanted around him," it took Dame traded himself to get the squad he wanted around him, and we still got him back.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow,
An injured
we
version.
really just got him back for pretty much nothing." But obviously, he tore his Achilles, so there's that. And then I was like, almost felt connected a bit because I remember when I was healing from my Achilles injury in college. That 50-point, I'm pretty sure it was game 7 against OKC. Almost like when he hit that shot, I was first when he was like waiting and he shot that shot. I was like, why the hell did he shoot that?
Yeah, go. I was like, go. What are you?
Yeah, I was just like, go. And I was like, oh my God, why the hell he shoot that? Cash. I was like, oh my God. I was yelling and I almost ran out my room, but then I realized as soon as I took my left foot down, I was like, my right, I was like, oh no, I can't put my right foot down. So I was just hopping around in my room. And I was just like, dang, that's what really got me back into watching basketball again. Cause I've seen like the Blazers here and there, but I wasn't watching games as much as I do the past like 2 years. But when I saw it, I was like, dang, it just felt like a dream, but I felt like it was only right for him to come back. It was just funny to me because I felt like he should have never left. But leaving ended up helping us and helping him, I guess, a little bit.
Maybe.
Not entirely, because I feel like that era in Milwaukee wasn't the best. And I'm glad he got out of it because there was no way. Once I saw them sign Darvin Ham, I was out. I was checked out. But I wanted to believe because, he's my guy. I wanted to believe. But once Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers was in the same coaching staff, I was kind of checked out. I didn't think it was really going to work out for them. So I'm glad he's out of that. But yeah, I was so happy, man. But I think I was really happy about that. But the one where I was really happy that I like stopped everything, dropped everything was when they cut DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I was yelling in my car. I was like, finally, because I never thought that was going to actually happen. I wanted that to happen so bad. And I know you remember me saying that so many times. Just cut him, just give him the money and let him go. I didn't think they were going to actually do it, though. I did not think they were going to do it.
Yeah, and props to DeAndre for accepting less of a contract so he could go to a team he wanted to go to.
Oh my God. I was out with my friends. We were about to go to the club. I stopped everything. I left. I went to my car. I was just yelling in my car. I recorded a TikTok. I was just yelling. I was so happy. And I was like, that's where everything starts. Just without him, I felt like everything just kept going. Like the ball was rolling. We were getting somewhere.
Well, we used that money to sign Dame too, that we saved by cutting him. So,
okay,
full circle. Yeah.
Yep. Damn. I'm still learning about how the money works too. Because I'm not gonna say it's not.
It's tough. It's changed. Like it just changed a couple of years ago, and it's so much more confusing now with the.
So it was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there was a new CBA put in place a couple of years ago, and it's drastically different than the one that I used to study it, and I used to take time to make sure I knew all my stuff, but it's like I read some of it now and I don't even understand. It's so complicated.
And I'm still trying to get used to it because I'm like, you know what, if I'm in with the analytics, I might as well be in with the money too.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that's how we got them. I thought we had.
Yeah, it opened up the
full TPE already.
Yeah. Well, we had the lower one, but we used the larger one to sign Dame. I mean, I'm sure he would have came back for less money because he had already gotten paid, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
It just came out. He just had, I don't know if it was an interview or what, but there was just an article saying that this is the happiest he's been in a while, and that he's so happy to be back around his family again, around the team again. Basically saying what you said. He should have never left or whatever. But yeah, it is kind of funny that the team is only where it is now because he left. But yeah, I don't know what word you want to describe it, but that morning he requested a trade. I broke down on stream and shed a few tears. And
oh wow,
yeah, it's just like people make, like a lot of people make fun of me or whatever, and a lot of people, you know, came to me and said, "Dude, that was so great of you to show your emotion," or what we all felt like, you know.
Yeah.
So like I got mixed reactions from it. But from my point of view, like Dame had been here, you know, over a decade, and the year he was drafted, one of my children were born. I started my own business that year, and you know, I had been married for a couple of years and had a house for a couple of years, but it was all relatively new. But for the most part, you know, my whole married / house / one and then later on 2 of my kids, my whole business had been around, and Dame had been part of my life. Like I'm obviously a diehard Blazer fan, and so like it's not like life altering or anything like that, but it is like I watch every Blazer game. Like Dame was a part of my life for over a decade and stuff like that, and he was a big part of you know, Blazers Uprise and all this stuff, and just my life in general. Since I admittedly wear my heart on my sleeve, I do get up and down with how the Blazers are doing, and things like that. I do want them to get better. So yeah, when he left, man, it was just such a gut punch, because I know he didn't make that decision because he wanted out of Portland. He made that decision because he felt like he had no choice. And it sucked that someone who wanted to be here and didn't want to leave was forced to do that. And yeah, just the emotions got the best of me, and yeah, I kind of broke down on stream, and yeah, it's kind of.
No, honestly, I don't even blame you, because I feel like I was caught so off guard because I just woke up that I felt like it was a dream, but I was like, nah, this is people being serious, because I'm getting, Dame not loyal to the soil. He made all these songs. He ain't never leave. If you run from he running from the grind. I'm like, my God. And I felt like I had to contain myself, because I know when it's my friends, I already knew what, like, it's okay, because it's cool. I'm the only Blazer fan in my area. Like they're Wizards fans, but not like diehard Wizards fans. It's just fans of the team in the area. But like seeing that everywhere, I'm just like not loyal. Like running from the grind. I'm like, this is not running from the. I just had to stop myself from like arguing with so many people. It's not my battle, but obviously you're not going to be blind to what the organization is trying to do to you if they're not trying to help you out. So you got to, look out for yourself. I just feel like I couldn't. I felt what my best friend in high school felt when I think he was a D Rose fan, when D Rose got traded to what's the first team he got traded to? Was he traded to the Cavs? No. Was he traded to the Cavs first, or was it Timberwolves?
Let me look it up.
Because whatever team he went to, because he was a Bulls fan, whatever team he went to, when he got traded, I was like, that was the one that hit him. And now he likes a whole bunch of different teams because he's just like a player fan now. So
he played for New York the first year after Chicago.
Okay. I figured it was the Knicks first. And I was like, my player never going to leave. Because then my friends were like devastated when John Wall got traded. I'm like, dang, my guy's the only one left. So when I woke up and saw that, I was like, dang. Years later, we used to chop it up in high school and college about this. Years later, now my favorite player is gone, and I'm just like, dang. Am I going to not like the Blazers anymore? Am I going to go to the Bucks? But then I'm like, nah, I can't. I gotta just stick with the team. I can still be a fan of Dame, at least with Giannis. But now I look at that and I'm just like, that team was just built poorly when they got.
I still can't believe they waived Dame too, man.
Yeah, and then that one was the one where I was like, why did they do it? I was like, they just waived him. They just said, get out of here. And I'm like, I couldn't believe
Here's
my eyes.
130
The
million.
next thing was going to happen. I'm like, they waived Dame. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That one, I was like, yeah.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was like, dang, everybody in Milwaukee, they treated me well, so I can't speak bad about Milwaukee. But I couldn't believe that. I was like, dang, he did all that for you, put his leg on the line, and they waived him. I couldn't believe it. But hey, it's a business. I can't blame them. They need to get their money back, but they got their money back and didn't do anything with it. So, yeah, that one didn't hit me
Miles
that
Turner.
much. It didn't hit me that much, but I feel like the memories kind of like flooded because the reason why I liked him was because of 2K until I saw him play in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, I was yeah, that's the reason why I like the Blazers. And 2K14 was the first like basketball game I ever played. I wasn't good at playing basketball growing up. I was actually banned from playing basketball in elementary school because they said I used to foul too hard. So,
oh man,
yeah, they didn't let me play basketball, and I just wasn't really all that good. But 2K14, I wasn't good at 2K, so I got drafted late. Got drafted to the Blazers, and then another save I got drafted to the Clippers. And the Clippers save, I think I lost maybe like 5 games in the season. But with the Blazers, I didn't lose any games. And I was like, oh, okay, like if I'm going like the Blazers. And I was like, who's this guy that keeps shooting threes? That keep hitting all these threes every time I passed it. Because I was small forward. Every time I passed it to him, he was catching everything. I was like, dang, who is this? And I looked him up. I was like, oh, this guy's actually good. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to like him. And then he kept being good. I was like, dang, I didn't even know about this guy. I was like, oh, he's like the top player on the team. And I just supported him ever since that. And then, yeah, ever since that, it's been history. He's just been my favorite player.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's just such a random way to like a team,
right?
But
that was a very modern way to like a team.
Yeah, honestly, because I was like, what is it, 15? Yeah, dang, I've been liking this team for 11 years. It's crazy to say that. Yeah, I was like 15, and yeah, I was just like, let me just like him. He's my favorite player. Obviously, I knew about like the other big players, but I think that team, that's 2K14, that's 2013. I only remember like 3 people. Obviously, Marcus Aldridge, Dame. I think CJ was on that team, but CJ wasn't good yet. And Alan Crabb. I think was Wesley Matthews on that team.
Yeah,
that's about as all I remember.
Batum would have been on that team. Yeah.
Batum too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. Alan Crabb used to be my guy in 2K.
Yeah.
So I will always remember him. But yeah, that's how I kind of like the team. And then they've been cooking. So it's like, hey, I can't go anywhere now. And now I'm invested so much.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and then Dame. I tried to get an autograph from Dame when I was with the Wizards at the Wizards game. Because my friend, like I said, he worked at the Wizards, so he got me at the shoot around, like I think 3 rows away from front row. And I'm not gonna lie, looking back, I kind of felt bad because I thought Dame was never gonna come back. So I ignored everybody that walked past into the hallway. Nurkic walked past. Shaden walked past. I think Trenton Wofford walked past. And I don't think Anthony walked past. But yeah, they all walked past. I was like, man, I don't care about these people. I'm waiting for Dame. And then Dame went to the other side where Bradley Beal was locker room. I was so upset. I don't even think he played that day. Yeah, I don't think he played that day. I was so upset. I was like, damn, I'm right here. Dame was right in front of me.
Yeah.
He didn't come over. But some random dude was getting all his cards signed. I think he got Shaden's rookie card signature. So
nice.
Yeah, I was like, good for him. But then I was looking back when Dame got traded. I was like, damn. I looked back at that day. I was like, damn. I probably should have just like said hello or adapted one of the players.
Right, yeah. Diversify yourself, man. Get lots of players, not just one.
Yeah. So now I'm like, oh. Now I'm like, It's whatever. Now every single player gets the same amount of attention from me. I will say what's up to everybody because I don't know who is going to leave. I was like, Dame left. I can't do this anymore. I can't. Anybody I see on the team that's good and likable, I'm gonna say hello to you. If you don't say hello back, I understand.
See, this is how old I am. Back in the day, I used to go to Blazer games, and like my parents and like several other hundred people or so would wait at the players' cars after the game, right? It wasn't like a fancy parking garage with their own like lockdown section where you could get there. Like they would just be out in the middle of this parking lot, and you'd know where all their cars were. And after the game, you just go stand by them. I got like Drexler's autograph, all the big Blazers in the past. Like they were always like so nice, and they talk to you. And then like this is after game 2, and so yeah, it used to be so much easier to get an autograph. But like, so all those guys when I grew up, like I had a chance to meet just going to games. Actually, I remember one time I went to a Blazers-Lakers game, and you could actually like go in the locker room of the opposing team. You could
really?
Like go and chill. Yeah, like so not to like where they shower and stuff, but like right outside. And so like I remember like being down there and like Magic and all that, those guys like just like hanging out. It was like, what the heck?
What?
I can't even imagine that these days, right? Like you
I can't
even get any access at all. But
because I think the last Blazer game I went to, my friend I wish he worked there at the time because I didn't come early enough to see them shoot around, so I came too late. But I was like, after the game, they had like their friends and family, show up and go down to the court. And always obviously you have to have special tickets for that. But my friend was like, just hop in line and see if they just let you go in, or just like ask somebody for something. But I was like, I don't have anything. My friend don't work here anymore. How am I going to get in? So we hopped in line and we were just waiting. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask one of the people, can I get like a screenshot of the ticket so I could just show it to them? And yeah, I was close, but somebody gave me the wrong screenshot. I don't know whose family member that was, but at least he tried. I didn't want to ruin it for him because that's his fam. But I was like, dang, I was so close. I was so close. But next time I'm gonna get there. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get there.
It's the only thing close that they have nowadays. If you're like a season ticket holder, you get invited to an event. A couple years ago, it was at like a bowling alley. And then last year, I think it was just at the Moda Center, but so you could like play chess with Matisse Thybulle or something. Like
really?
That kind of stuff. Yeah. So like board games and
fun I guess, like I guess that does make sense. I forgot. I'm kind of like, well, I guess in baseball, I'm kind of like I'm just like immune to it sometimes. I was around the locker room. I seen the GM so many times. I seen all the players. Like when the first time, I think the season ended, because I joined when this it was close to the end of the season. The coach came into office and was just like thanking all of us, and he just like gave me a fist bump. I was like, yeah, cool. And like, I don't know who you are, but like, thanks. And everybody was like, as soon as he walked out, everybody's like, yeah, you don't even know who that is. I was like, yeah, I don't. Is he a player? He's like, no, he's the manager. I was like, oh, he looked like a player. And he was, but he was like so many years ago. And then I seen the GM like walking down, I guess, where was it? I don't want to say in the garage or something, but I was like, like the GM. I just walked past him because he just looked like a normal person to me. But I was like, nah, I know who you are. There's only one person that's that bald in here. And I was like, that's the GM. I'm like, dang. There was so many people I used to just walk past and see, and then just have access to seeing like the locker room, the coach, getting on the field. We used to do batting practice. One time we were in the bullpen, and that's why I wanted to work in the NBA. But I guess I'll do it my own way. I'm still in the NBA space, maybe just not for a team.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of got immune to it. But it's crazy how much stuff has changed since like you could just go see the players like that. Now you got to go through so many security clearances.
Right. You're not getting down there now. Yeah. So one of my heroes growing up that didn't wasn't a Portland team. So Jerry Rice was my favorite player in football. And I was like, my whole life, I was like, man, because like there's no NFL team here.
Yeah.
So I like, how am I ever going to meet Jerry Rice? And then this one day I was at work and I get a call saying, hey, did you know Jerry Rice is going to be at this like Fred Meyer? It's like a grocery store down the road, signing autographs for some book later today. I'm like, no. And so like I just like leave work, I go down there, get to meet Jerry Rice at some random grocery store here in Portland. And like I don't even know like why he was there, or like what, other than the book, but like why this place in Portland, like you know. And so like I got to meet one of my childhood favorite athletes. So got him to sign. I had a Jerry Rice jersey. I got him to sign that. And so my goal one day is to have a signed Dame jersey next to him, because he's my favorite Blazer of all time. So it'd be cool to have both of their jerseys like side by side and stuff like that. But so hopefully someday both of us get to meet Dame and get an autograph or something.
Dang. I don't have it. The only thing I got a he didn't sign it. It was pre-signed, but I think it was like week 2 of we had a Connect 4 tournament, and I got a Max Scherzer signed baseball. I think it's no, it's not there. But so that's the only thing I had. Nobody signed any of my things. I don't think I've
well, you could have. You just ignored everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think I'd be this deep into the team. Honestly, I thought they were. I'm not gonna say I didn't like Nurkic, but I didn't. I was just focused on Dame and Dame only.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize
that's natural though. I mean, Dame's a cool guy. Like,
yeah, I just look back and I was like, I still like the rest of the team, but I just know now is because I have cared to look past the first 5 players, even though I know all the players on the team. But now I'm just like, now I really know all the players on the team.
Yeah,
I don't know who's on the 2 ways or on the G League team. But
come on, no.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not there yet, but I'll be there eventually.
Well, recently, how recent is your scouting thing? Like, because you've been into watching college players the last couple of years, right? Is that just a recent thing? Or?
Oh, that's a recent thing. So when I joined that mock off season, when I joined the group chat and joined the mock off season, that was my first time doing it. Was 2024 draft, yeah. Because I've always watched college basketball, but I never paid attention that much.
Yeah.
Because growing up, basketball was not a sport I paid attention to that much. Like I grew up playing soccer, and then played football all throughout high school. Played football, lacrosse, track, and then I went to college and played football. And I had stopped because I tore my Achilles. So then after that, I was like, you know what? Just playing sports for fun. And then I started watching basketball heavy 2019, 2020. And then I guess the reason why I got into basketball so much was because I was betting on it. Like 2021 and then until like 2023. And then I stopped betting on it, and I was just like, since I pay attention to basketball so much, I should talk about it, since I see a whole bunch of dumb people talking about it, and I don't like their takes. So I was like, let me say something. If it's going to be dumb, at least I said it, and I'm not listening to somebody else say it. Right. I say it's fairly recent. And then this past year, I guess the 2025 draft, I was like, let me pay attention since the beginning. Not like jump in at the end. I want to pay attention since the beginning. So like look at all these players, obviously see what people like, what consensus is, and then see if I can find somebody hidden a diamond in the rough. And then I was like, okay, cool. This was pretty cool. It was a long process because it was a lot of stuff to watch, a lot of access I didn't have.
Yeah.
Because like I don't got cable, so
thank goodness for YouTube.
College games was tough.
Yeah.
So
next time we do this, I definitely want to talk about because both you and I had some of our favorite prospects go back to school,
and
not declare to the draft. So it'd be fun to follow those guys and see how they do compared to going to the NBA or whatever. And then also,
we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely do that. So how long have you been doing it?
For like college scouting and stuff, it's something that I remember being into when I was a kid. So like I remember the 1992 draft with like Shaq and Alonzo Mourning, Christian Laettner was in that draft. I remember being really into that draft, and it was actually in Portland that year.
Wow.
And tickets were only like $5 to go or something like that. I wanted to go so bad, but like no one else cared about the draft back then. So like no one wanted to go with me. So I was like, dang it. So like I always regret not going to that draft because that would have been so cool of an experience. And now you have to go to like New York or whatever to see.
Oh yeah, now you got to go out the way. Yeah, you're right.
But I remember like being into the drafts ever since that point, but really getting into it, it's pretty much been since I'd probably say 2006-ish when the Blazers drafted Roy and Aldridge, and the next year with Odin and stuff. That's when I started.
That was the same year? They drafted both in the same year?
They drafted Roy and Aldridge in the same year, and then Odin was the next year.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, so they built this like young core, and so from there, I pretty much focused on the draft every year. Mm-hmm. And then when I really started getting into it, and like from a scouting mindset and putting out like lists or being really opinionated on who to draft and things like that, was 2012 when the Dame draft. From there on out, pretty much every year I try to be as informed as possible on the draft and stuff like that.
Oh snap! Dang. See, I'm learning something new every day because like this is why I don't try to say I'm a diehard Blazers fan.
Right? No, I mean you're younger than me, so.
But I didn't know that Brandon Roy and Marcus Aldridge were drafted the same year, and then I also didn't know what made everybody like talk about Brandon Roy so much, because he's kind of like he's like the what if in my head that I've never watched or never even really seen highlights of. So he's kind of like in the back of my head always, but I always see people talking about him, and I try to like go back in history. But the thing that helps me with teams was video games, because I had a lot of international knowledge because I played FIFA a lot. So I kind of got into scouting a tiny bit for soccer because I knew all the young players. I knew all the players that were like, 16 to 19 that were going to be really good, like in the next 5 years, like 20 to 25 that either are good or going to be good if they go to this big team or go to a smaller team, then go to another big team. So that's kind of what got me into that. And then I don't know why I started last year, to be honest. I feel like I just wanted to know more. Because I'm seeing all these people that are getting drafted, and then I don't think 2023. Who we drafted 2023? Did we draft someone in 2023?
The Blazers?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Am I being dumb? Yes, I am.
No, you got me. 2023 was Scoot and
Scoot and Chris Murray, right?
Chris Murray, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that draft, I was upset, but not because it was Scoot. I didn't know who he was, but I always saw him with Wemby. And for me, on the outside, like I wasn't thinking Wemby was generational like everybody was. Not saying he wasn't, or I felt like he was bad. I just saw this tall dude shooting, and they're just like, oh, he can do all these things. I'm like, oh, this guy can do all these things, but I'm like, I don't know who he is, so it don't really matter to me. But I always saw him and Scoot on my like explore page on YouTube. And when we drafted him, I was like, why do we draft a guard? We got Dame already. That's what made me upset, but I didn't know who else we were going to draft. But I thought he was going to be really, really good at the time, because I always saw him and Wemby. They're like, oh, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And I just felt like I was just out of the loop, and I was bored.
You want to be informed,
Yeah, I was bored, out of the loop. Let me look at college because I don't look at college at all. I just kind of pay attention to March Madness sometimes, and then kind of forget until we draft somebody. And yeah, so last year was the first time, and I was like, dang, this is hard. I don't know how people do this, especially if you don't have it. Like watching a whole bunch of film, because that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
I actually was talking to another dude that I'm cool with on Twitter. I was on this podcast talking about 2024 NBA redraft, even though it was pretty early, but um, where we would have people in a redraft, and he was fairly new to it too. And I was just like, yeah, all film and like your vibe for me as a player. It was like, yeah, some stats, but I was like, not too many analytics. Just my eyeballs. If I think you're good, you're gonna be good.
Right.
And then I realized that it's not just that, and just watching a whole bunch of film sometimes doesn't give you the whole picture. Sometimes because somebody can just like it's sometimes just highlights, sometimes not full games. Especially since I was so late into it, it was tough to watch full games of some players. Um, so then when I got into the analytics part, I was like, yeah, okay, now I can do a little bit of a mix, and now I'm just sharpening my process as I go. Because I went to school for it, but I just kind of forgot it because I haven't done it in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then this draft, I'm like, I got to go a little bit further back because I'm starting early, but I got to now see you in high school, and that's when I feel like I was in too deep because I'm like, high school. I haven't cared about high school sports since I was in high school.
Right.
So that was kind of tough. But then what I realized too was how much people are so focused on consensus, and that was my biggest thing. I don't care if you think like if you agree with somebody's list that's like consensus and you think that's like a good list, that's fine with me. But I felt like too many people were scared to have a different list than others because
yeah.
I didn't even think this was a thing. I was like, when I posted my first like list, I was just like, whatever. I felt like I was trying to be too similar to people because this is what other people were saying, but I have a little bit of a different ranking, but the players are pretty much the same. Then I realized I can just put whoever I want because who's going to beat me up for it?
Yeah.
And I realized that so many people didn't want to be different.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not a bad thing to be similar, but I just feel like people didn't want to show their opinions, and I feel like even the big media outlets all have very similar lists that I feel like nobody's like too different. And I wonder, are they trying to do that on purpose, or is that how they actually think? And I feel like there's not enough variance there. And I was just noticing that a lot because I got insulted a lot for it. I was like, dang, I can't. If you think you don't like the person, like the player, just let me know why. Just we can have a discussion. I mean, you might be right, but it's felt like, oh, you got this person here. No, now I understand the Cooper flag stuff. Like, I understand. At the time, I was just like, I'm not gonna say I was being stubborn, but at the time, I was like, well, I don't see it. But I'm not gonna act like I can't be wrong. I can admit any of my mistakes. But I mean, I guess until we still got some time. The jury's out.
What Cheem's referring to is he on his for most of this year he had Cooper flag fourth or something on your big board. He refused to put him higher than that. You kept trying to say, "Oh no, it's tiered,"
but I think the funniest thing about that is I never would have thought Fears would have got drafted at 7.
Yeah,
never would have thought that. As early as I thought he was cooking, I never thought he would get drafted that high. I was like, dang, this whole time I had him top 5, and as soon as I drop him out my top 10, he get drafted at 7. I'm like, where did this come from?
Right.
But yeah, that was mostly my reason for getting into that, and it was pretty cool. Just I feel like I was being more myself. Just discussing a sport I like with my friends. Because my friends not too big into analytics, and they didn't really know that many of the prospects. I feel like I was just like the know-it-all that's just, oh, watch this guy. And I'm like, dang, who do you want me to watch? Because sometimes they know people, but they're not like paying attention too much. And that's why I was like, dang, I guess Twitter is the space where everybody kind of just knows all these random people. I'm just trying to soak up a whole bunch of knowledge, not trying to miss anybody.
Yeah. Well, for the
So
past 2 years, I've enjoyed seeing who you latch onto, and last year was what? Well, you were pretty early on during my fears, and then someone we'll talk about in a later show would be Pettiford, right?
Yeah. So that one, and seeing even that, I'm just like, dang, it's crazy how like it was so random too that I just saw them. Because I know probably on other people's lists as well early, but I was just like, dang, I felt like that it was so much fun discovering people and then watching them and then seeing how far they would go up, how far they'll go down, how much I think they will impact the league, and how much I think they're just probably not going to do that much. But I still think there's like another step. Well, I mean, there's always another step I could take. I feel like roles for me are things I haven't really thought about too much. Because as I think towards the end of the season, I was thinking more like, if you can't play defense, you're not on my list.
Right.
But then I realized that it just doesn't work like that. Obviously, it might come to a point where it's like that because now every player can do everything. Used to be, I know everybody had a set role, and that's all you did. You didn't really branch out too much unless you were like a superstar. So I feel like that's the next step, and it's just been fun and tedious just to see how much my process has changed looking at all these things and all these players, and then seeing if they get drafted, they get signed on a contract, or if I just forget them. Because I would say it was hard to remember some of the players that went back that weren't that high to me, but were somewhere on my list because they just, once they don't get drafted, I was like, they're probably out of my head. But it doesn't work like that.
Last year, man, with so many people going back to school, I had such a tough time coming up with even like my top 60. There were so many players. I was like, no, I don't want to put it.
That was my thing. I was like, I feel like now I'm just trying to force some random guy that I wasn't even looking at all.
Yeah. It was like you can look at the consensus ones, like all the people's draft boards, they all rank a certain amount of players. I'm just like, dude, that guy is not a draftable player. Like, but am I going to have to put him in my top 60 just to have a top 60? Like, man, I feel like next year is going to be so much different because there's going to be like at least 20 guys where someone like you who has now only done it for a year or two is going to have that base of knowledge on that prospect already going into the season instead of starting basically from scratch.
Yeah.
So there's going to be all those players, plus you add on all the, freshmen. There's a huge group of like high level freshmen too. So next draft, I feel like is going to be super deep, assuming a lot of these players come out next year.
Yeah. Because I think my biggest thing with that too, because I'm like, I look at the consensus and I'm looking at mine, and I feel like everybody just has a whole bunch of freshmen. And I feel like that's probably what it is every year, I'm assuming. And I'm like, dang, a whole bunch of freshmen and then some international people and then obviously some returners. Like I pretty much guaranteed like 3 or 4 returners going to be drafted top 15. But then I'm like, it's a lot of freshmen. I'm like, who do I like? Who do I like? And obviously it's just like the top 3 right now. I think I had Darren Peterson first, Dibansta second, and I think it's third.
Boozer.
Yeah. I Boozer second and Dibansta third. Yeah. And then top. I feel like right now, I feel like I'm the only person I've seen out of my mutuals with Braden Burries in the top 10. I don't know. Something just spoke to me about him, but I think it really relies on if his strength translates early. If he really dominates that way from what I saw. But it's been interesting in the beginning because I'm like, there's so many people. And I think when I see people cook too much in the beginning, I just get laser focused. I'm like, yeah, you're just gonna keep cooking.
Yeah.
But I don't realize that there's a balance. It's ups and downs. So trying to not hyper focus too much on the highs. I got to see where the lows are and what you do in your lows. I think that's something. Well, I just said it now, but I feel like that's something I gotta remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, this it's been. I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty fun. I thank y'all because I feel like y'all were the reason why I started doing it with the mock off season and then looking at prospects and seeing y'all talk about it. I'm just like, dang, I don't know who any of y'all are talking about. And now coming to this where I'm somewhat informed on who, somebody says a name, I heard of you before.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you guys for giving me that knowledge.
Hey man, you got to put in the work yourself though. You've definitely done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long one, but yeah, definitely appreciate that. It's been fun though. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I learned a lot about you today, Eric. I learned a lot about you. You made me smile, man. You made me feel loved.
I wanted to do this for a while. Once again, I'm sorry that my life is pretty crazy with 3 kids and all that.
I feel like it was perfect timing. I'm not gonna lie, because I've been thinking of doing a collab with one person at least every month to end the year first, and then New Year's goals. And I did one last month, and then this is the one for this month, and I'm happy I got it done now, because the end of my month it will be probably a little bit more hectic, and then next season everybody's going to be locked in, and I think it's a perfect start, like 2 of them, and then maybe one more before the season starts. But yeah, I think this is a perfect start, and then next time we on the call, we get to talk about some prospects.
Yes.
And I feel like that's going to be the fun one. The real this was fun, but that's going to probably be way more fun. So
right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and NBA action's right around the corner. College basketball's around the corner. It's that fun time of year. And we still have NFL. You got baseball, playoffs, all that stuff. This is a great time of year for sports fans. So
dang. Yeah. Oh, dang. October's about it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. October's going to be packed for me because it's basketball and then new Pokemon game coming out.
Yep.
The shows I like. And I was
excited about that.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to it.
Are you still playing ball too?
Oh no. So this past dang, how long? I think that was a month ago. Yeah, so we finished our season. We lost in the championship game. I was very much a non-factor.
No.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. It was frustrating, but I was just like, I have to, there's still some things I can work on, but playing with 5 fouls is tough. Yeah, playing with 5 fouls.
You mentioned that earlier. That's full circle to the beginning of the stream when you mentioned you couldn't play basketball because you fouled.
So yeah, playing with 5 fouls was tough. So I think the first game almost fouled out in the first quarter.
Oh man,
I had 3 fouls in the first quarter, so then I chilled. But then I stayed in the game, didn't foul out. I haven't fouled out any game. But the championship game was this team that was also undefeated with us when they beat us the first time, and then this time it was a closer game, but I think I got 4 fouls at the start of the third, and I felt like I couldn't do anything. And it was frustrating because I feel like the refs, when you get like rec league refs, they're not super duper officials. They don't really care, I feel like. So
I know.
I consider myself, pretty physical. These people were being way more physical than me, and I kind of up my physicality as other people do. So, yeah, I feel like I was getting some non-called offensive fouls, and they took me out of the game, and I was just like, dang, this was a tough one. And I wasn't even making any shots. I think I had 1 point in that game. So, my jumper was kind of broke, and yeah, it's just like basketball to me. It's just the sport. I'm working on it, but it's the sport. I feel like I can't translate all my athleticism into like other sports. Like soccer, easiest sport in the world for me. Lacrosse, easiest sport in the world for me. Track, easiest sport. Football, pretty easy sport. I got my limitations like my glasses and whatnot, but pretty easy sport. Basketball, I'm just like, my speed doesn't translate as I would like in a half court. But then I also realized, well, I don't like to use this as an excuse because I never do. But I'm like, is explosion like the short term explosion because I have one false Achilles? I don't know. So I'm like, I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't think about that too much. But I'm just like, basketball, like to confirm my athleticism because I'm fast, but in transition, nobody can catch me. But if they're in half court, we're in a small box. You can always catch me. So I was just trying to find like my role. But it was, for the most part, it was just like defense, getting rebounds, and passing the ball when I can. Because the way I play in real life is not how I play on 2K. Because 2K, I'm the point guard. I'm like, getting 15 assists. But then I'm like, you put the ball in my hand, I might lose it. I'm better at dribbling now, but it's not the best. So I think I'm taking off this season because I'm doing some other classes. Yeah, when I learned how to actually, I'm not even going to say it yet because my friends might be watching this. So I'm keeping it a secret. But I learned some new tricks that I'll show them later on.
Nice.
That I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. So they're going to be very surprised when they see that.
Well, I had no athleticism to begin with, but I had Achilles surgery that same year you did, 2019. But mine was later in the year.
Really?
And that I've been completely zapped whatever little athleticism I had. So I've had to learn my whole life to be effective without being. So I have the exact opposite problem.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me because I'm like, well, I guess my dad made me do a lot of things when I was younger. I used to I was legit a kid, maybe like 4. He used to make me and my sister wear ankle weights in the house and just run around with them. So like just doing that, and then a whole bunch of practicing by myself and running around on the soccer field, and then just like and then my friends just always finding extra time to practice. We just goof off. And just always practice and compete with each other. That's why I feel like I just learned how to muscle my way through just like athletically. But then when some sports require a little bit more technical skill, I struggle in it, but I pick it up. I pick it up pretty fast, but only if I like stick with it for real. So I'm trying to learn that with basketball because I had it in high school, then I lost it a little bit, and then it's trying to find it again.
Well, this guy's always showing videos of him playing and stuff, which is cool. But to me, it looks like from the beginning when you started showing those videos to the end, it did look like you improved quite a bit.
Yeah, and for me, I'm very hard on myself because I think I'm comparing myself too much to professionals.
Okay.
So I forget because out of my friends, like all my friends are athletic though. They're not well, I guess somewhat athletic. I don't surround myself with like sports players as much anymore, but I look at how people with my athleticism move, and I'm just like, dang, I'm not there yet. But you're right, I have seen the improvement, but to me, it's just like I need to be here, and I'm here.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to go to the league. But that's the expectation I have for myself. So trying to manage that has been fun, but you're right. I have improved. I need to give myself some more credit. I just know once I hit that one goal, just like the next 5, let me just knock them down. So that's natural.
That's natural. But yeah, give yourself some credit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I'm gonna get back into it. That's one of the most important things is not taking a ton of. I know you said you're not playing this season, but still find a way to keep playing a little bit. Yeah, not completely give up on it for a few months and ruin some of the progress you've made.
Yeah, that's true. As you say that, I should go hoop tomorrow because I haven't played basketball in like a month or 2.
Yeah.
So you're right. Now I need to go back out. Hoops. Yeah, inspire me.
Good.
But
man,
I guess we can wrap this up now. So I appreciate you.
Awesome conversation.
Chopping it up with me. I feel like I learned a lot about you. We're gonna have a lot more episodes coming soon. I'm gonna add this to Tea Time. So it's the series is called Tea Time. Usually with my friend District of Buckets. but now I think we're just going to have any guest that wants to be here and bless me with their knowledge of basketball. So, yeah, that's what's going to be. So I appreciate you for coming out, spending some time with me in your busy schedule.
Well, thanks for having me, Cheem. It's been fun.
Of course. Well, I mean, I guess that's all we got. Good night, guys. Yeah.